Celebrate! Woohoo! That's right, celebrate! Woohoo! Whoa! Hats off to ya! Woo! Cheers! It's our 500th consecutive episode talking about comic books daily! Can you dig it? Woohoo! Cheers! Salut! Slancha to you! Welcome! Pre-recorded live before a studio audience of partying stuffed animals. We bring you the celebration of our 500th consecutive episode. It started out last year as the golden age of DC Comics, 365 days, where we took this well-loved coffee table book given to me about 2 decades ago by one of my best friends, and it's been surfing my coffee table ever since, providing Comicbook Shop-Style Conversations. All you need to do is open up that book to today's date, look at some comic book art of an antediluvian age, read the blurb, and then proceed to talk about comic books, superheroes, modern mythology, an American enterprise of this superhero world that we still play in and we still talk about. And we've just gone on. The thing of the show was, and we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. Hats off. This string's too tiny for my big ass head. But look at these guys. Aren't they cute? Indeed. I hope you're having have a drink too, or whatever it is you're shoving under your nose today. We're celebrating here from the Boston studios. It is our 500th consecutive episode. Thank you. It would never have happened without you. If you're new to the station, new to the show, turn on those notifications and subscribe. We're on the march to our first 1,000 subscribers. It's going to happen really soon. And what an auspicious time for something like that to kind of happen, too. It's our 500th consecutive episode. We talk about comic books every day. We take a break. We take a break from work, and we take our minds off of our minds. We leave the real world over there. We sit down here at our comics coffee table. The coffee table was always where my friends would congregate. There would be a stack of movies, a stack of music, a stack of books, and always a stack of comic books. We were trying to get each other to read. It's in that spirit we congregate here at our comics coffee table. Subscribe. Yeah, at the 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily premiere, the live chat is hopping and full of great people talking about comic books daily. Leave comments in the comment section. Continue this comic book shop style conversation. That's right. We talk comic books. Part of the show, a big part of the show, is about it's about getting supplies. I'm reboxing, reboarding, and rebagging my entire collection, and I need new supplies. So I am going to my local comic book shop, and I got some resealable bags for the first time. I've never really used them before, but hey, let's allons-y, huh? I've got bags. I'm getting boards, and yeah, here are the boards, acid-free boards, coated on one side. I'm getting boxes. I'm getting short boxes, and I'm burping too. Because, yeah, see, this is a little too short to wear. Hi. Ha-ha! We're party aminals. Party aminal! Speaking of, where's our burb? Burb was out a little earlier. This promotes good posture, by the way. Here we go. To our 500th episode. Consecutive episode. Ah, indeed. Oh, it's been fun. It's been really fun. Seriously, this is it's a nice way to express love for my hobby, my lifelong love of comic books, and also to give back to the love of the YouTube communities, the fellowships that I've been part of for the past few years, and I'm very honored and humbled and grateful that people show up to our little show and take a break with us. And we literally talk about comic books every day. We talk about our new releases. We talk about our old favorites. We talk about the teachers we don't like. Ew. Hey, I got sent into detention by Miss Cloonan. Oh, I didn't have a hall pass. I was hanging out with the greases, smoking in the boys' room. Woohoo! Heyo, waka waka. But I'm buying my supplies at my local comic book shop. I could be getting them online through my online supply chain. You know, the one with the free shipping and the built-in movie network. You know what I'm talking about. And no, I'm paying, and also I could be getting a cut rate too. I mean, a discount. But I pay voluntarily, willfully, with forethought. I'm paying the retail markup at my local comic book shop. I'm not doing it because I'm naive. I'm doing it because I want to keep my local comic book shop. I want to contribute to its success being a small business in a world where small businesses struggle the most. They probably always have, but with big box stores and especially with our online supply chains, we need to, I think there's a thing about going back to the comic book store, talking to other people, like saying, hey, what do you got there in your stack of funny books on this new release Wednesday? It's one of my favorite things to do. I was talking X-Men with a kid. He had this he was looking at my stack full of DC stuff. He was like, oh, mine's mostly all Marvel. And he's got all these DC comics. He looks like he's young in the mid-20s. And I'm like, yeah, I love the X-Men, but I'm coming back when we eventually go back to the mansion and the danger room. And you can tell he's like one of these Krakoan age kids that like love what's going on. But I gotta be like, hey, they always do this. They leave Graymalkin Way, they have an experience somewhere else, and then they eventually come back. This is an actual comic book shop conversation I had last Wednesday with a kid in the queue waiting for me to shut up and get my purchases, at the cash register, and being like, well, it happened to me as a kid. It was called Fall of the Mutants, and the X-Men resettled in the Australian outback, but eventually they came back to Xavier's mansion. And then after that came like Schism, right? They were out and like, wasn't there like a mutant preserve or reservation on Alcatraz Island or in San Francisco? And so the whole show moved to San Francisco for a couple of seasons, like Laverne and Shirley did. When they moved from Milwaukee to LA, to Hollywood. And but eventually, the show, it came back to Graymalkin Way, Westchester, New York, the Xavier Academy for gifted youngsters. And this is once again part of that cycle. And that's how we get. But it was a quicker conversation than that, trust me. But it was just more of like, I'll be back when we go back to the academy, when we go back to the danger room, and it's not that there was anything wrong with the Krakoan. I think there's plenty wrong with the X-Men titles right now, but it's what I'm saying about comic book shop style conversations, that it's not as mean or outragey as it is out here on social media and online and on YouTube and on Twitter and stuff. I mean, when you're like face to face with somebody and you can hear their voice, you can see their body language, microaggressions, micro expressions, one could say, but and you are talking to a real person and someone who's literally in arm's reach of you within a few steps. If like, you know what I mean? Hey, I'm from South Boston, Massachusetts. We have an adage. Did you have it coming, kid? Did he have it coming? We all do, don't we? Sláinte, here's to you. 500 consecutive episodes. Wow. I'm proud of you. Proud of you too. You guys, proud of me, but wow, we did it. We've done it. We're going to continue to keep doing it, and it's fun. And thank you for spending your break time with us. Seriously. Subscribe if you can. If you haven't yet. Yeah. And hit that like button. Hit the dislike button if you don't. If I'm a big lad, I can handle it. What did I read the show notes? Of course I always read the show notes. 500 consecutive days of reading your scribbles, Pika. And the new one. Oh, turn off the HEPA filter, Eric. And just since it's a very special episode, it's our 500th consecutive episode. So let's start. In the beginning, we did this a couple of days ago, but I find it charming. I wanted to just to look back, especially with this book here. It started the whole thing. There is a link. I'm going to say there are links to all of these books I'm going to show. These are the books that we use on our show. And you can get these books yourself, and you can put them on your coffee table. This book especially will look great on your coffee table, and you can play along at home, and it makes a great gift for a geek. I know. As I started off every episode, one of my best friends gave me this book in a roundabout fashion, to be honest, and it literally has been writing a coffee table that one of the coffee table I still have. The same best friend, him and his wife were clearing out their storage container unit a decade ago, over a decade, and they were like, "Hey, you want this coffee table?" And I'm like, all right. So the pairing, and the coffee table was always where my friends and I would hang out. There'd be an overflowing ashtray. There would be cans of beer. There would be the smell of probably marijuana in the air. And maybe even a candle or something. And there would be a stack of DVDs or a stack of VHS cassettes or a stack of CDs, music, a stack of books, real books, books, and then stacks of comic books as well. So yeah, we would open up. Peter gave me this book about 20 years ago, and it's been surfing my coffee table ever since. Almost 20 years ago, but definitely for the better part of 2 decades, this is well loved. We kind of beat the hell out of this book last year too by going, and we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. You got it. I had to tape up the corners a bit more a few times, but yeah, so we learned a bit more about the golden age of DC Comics together, and we learned about the different publication companies that folded and got absorbed into DC, and which are now part of the golden age continuity of DC Comics, when in fact they were competitors. And the golden age runs from 1938 to 1955. The silver age from 1956 to 1970. The bronze age, I'm a bronze age baby myself, from 1970 to 1984. And the copper age from 1984 until 1993, I believe. And we're in some kind of nebulous catch-all modern age of comic books ever since. And the next thing I'm going to show you is, I love talking about comic books and the ages of comic books, especially since we started with the golden age. I needed to supplement my arguments with the industry standards. So this is last year's Overstreet comic book price guide, and this turned me on to different part. These got great articles. This is insider stuff. This is industry standard stuff. And what I needed was information. Information. You'll not get it by hook or by crook. We will. I am the new number 2. You are number 6. I am not a number. I am a free man. The glossary here is it has the definitions of the ages of comic books. Plainly laid out. And yeah, the Silver Age. Comics published from 1956 to 1970. Right there. You know, that's it. These are the industry standards, and they're good to adopt. And so there's, like, as I said before, there's a link in the description to this Amazon page where you can get your own copy as well. Let's see. It's a bit of a mess in here today. Leading up to this year's copy and its sister, The Guide to Grading Comics. This has been an interesting ride. This is so, when we ran out of days last year, we had to keep the show going on. And so I thought, what would make great content? My own comic books and a BBC show, a bag, board, and comics. And lots of channels do it. And they're fun. And it's about, oh, look at all of these old comic books and trade paperbacks and things. So I'm really into that and going through my own collection. So I felt it was time to rebox, reboard, and rebag everything. All of my comic book long boxes have been in my basement for a couple of years now, between summer swelters and humidities, leaky pipes perhaps, and saving and a couple of saving graces, like throwing some hefty bags on top of things here and there with sweaty pipes. And these boxes have done their job. They've protected the comic books within, and for the most part, I haven't had to throw anything out. Nothing's been mold damaged, except for 2 of the lids of these old long boxes. So I'm reboxing, reboarding, rebagging. Along the way, let me get my head around grading this 10-point standard system. Again, you can find a link to in the description, and then we use these 2 other books as well. And these are solid recs from the station to you if you're new to comics. If you're old to comics and haven't read either one of these, Peter gave me this book about almost 30 years ago. I've known him for about 30 years. It's over 25 years ago. So same best friend with the coffee table and this book. Before that, got me this book like years ago because he was like, "Oh, you're a comic books fan. Have you ever read this?" And I'm like, "No." And he picked this up for me. And this is Scott McCloud's Understanding Comics. Look at this. This is about the power of sequential art. All right, these are 2 panels next to each other telling a story. But what I like too is your change of my spin, my own spin, it's like being a manga fan and knowing that, manga reads in the opposite direction, that a typical Japanese reader would read this as the person is putting the hat on their head. And the Western reader would read this as there's the person taking the hat off of his head. Isn't that I found that interesting. And this is an amazing, awesome book. It talks about, this will literally give you what we sorely need in comic book fandoms: perspective. We need better perspective as comic book fans. We need to maybe temper what we think of as criticism, you know what I mean? And maybe leave criticism for real critics that have the criteria and training but I don't know, there's a part of just embracing the positive is finding positive things. And like, this book is just amazing. Like, as a comic book fan, we're on the outside looking into a publication. We're looking into it. And this book here gives us the ability to be in the inside of the book looking out. I mean, look at the weak position, strong position for like throwing punches, making dynamic action sequences, and sequential art panels. And there's a way to do it, and there's a way to make it look bad too. And this is so enlightening as a lifelong comics fan. And it talks with the inking as well. Remember, don't just The comic book cover. Oh, I love this book. So yeah, this book, that's a keeper. This is probably my third copy, at least my second copy lifetime. Had it when I was a kid, and this is my adult copy. I got last year specifically for the show. So yeah, any of these books, they all have links in the description, and they're all worth it. And if you're a comics fan, and you don't have these and you're interested, happy reading, please. I'm just, once again, our 500th consecutive episode. I just, thank you. Thank you so much. We're about to break our first 1,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed already, now's the perfect time to, click it on and turn on those notifications. As I like to say, eventually you will learn how to tell time. Like, oh, look at my wrist. It must be 3 o'clock U.S. Eastern. Yeah, and it's just been very nice. I've also been rewarded with just meeting lots of people, whether online or in real life, through these YouTube circles, and it's a real blessing to do this. It's doing daily content as a content creator, being a small station on YouTube, and making content and of different variety too. We also do cooking videos. I'm a professional chef. I make a lot of cooking shorts that pimp the channel, and so hopefully you're tuning in through the cooking shorts and you're staying for the bunnies as well. So I do cooking shorts. I wake up pretty early. I get to work by 6 a.m. and so there are bunnies eating their breakfast in the pre-dawn morning, if the weather is nice, in my neighborhood on the way to the subway station for the most part. And yeah, so that's these little nature videos, and I hear kids like them too. They're cute bunnies. So I adopt some kind of just newsreel kind of voice. Behold, this bunny is eating their breakfast. This bunny is full of nutrition and hop-to-itiveness. Don't you want to hop to it as well? You eat a breakfast and hop to it. Some kind of early morning kind of inspirational. I've been doing gratitude. I'm an ordained minister as well, an amateur theologian. We do spirituality videos as well as gratitude lists. We're going to be getting back to gratitude lists in June. Took a break from it. Just don't want to be repetitive. It's a good thing to have in your life, though. I mean, talk about YouTube communities and people that have a direct impact on you in a good way. Big Om, and probably one of the faces of my Mount Rushmore of YouTube creators that inspired me to do this would be Gary Beekler of Nerdrotic. I was a member and a member chat and a member video stream like maybe 3 years ago, and when I was on as we all do, we start on most of us, we start on a tripod with a ring light and a clip for your iPhone and an earbud. And this is how I started. This is how most of us start, and through being a member and being on a member stream, he said that you need a really decent mic, a good web camera, and you can do this, and something to talk about. This is not a direct quote, but this is more of like, that's the message I got from this like one advice that that Gary Beekler laid down. Get a really decent mic, a good webcam, and something to talk about, and you can do this too. And yes, I'm in. And also, he's been through his own life problems and has been through recovery, and he advised gratitude, making gratitude lists. And little did I know that that was going to be a huge little thing in my life. I used to make gratitude lists. I used to write them down along with Pika's show notes. And just, I was, it was around lockdown 2020 as well. I was on work furlough. I didn't go to work. I don't know about you, but I didn't go back to work for between March and October. I was housebound, as a lot of us were. And so I started making gratitude lists to help me cope. And I found the ability to count my blessings, having the ability to look at them on a piece of paper, to count them, be like, I have 13 things to be grateful for today. I have 17 great things to be grateful for last Wednesday. I have 12 yesterday. Things are not as bad as they seem. You can visualize it. You can literally count your blessings. And it has the ability to stop the inertia of the bad day. It gives you a negative space where you can make new decisions. You can continue to have a shitty day. Yeah, that's a choice, a conscious choice you can make. Or you can make a new decision. And from a neutral space that benefit you, that benefit all those that you impact around you. I now say in my inner monologue, I can now say, please, Eric, run your mood and do not let your mood run you. And I'm an ordained minister, and this is a lifelong, maybe thesis statement on my emotional state, and that spirituality has helped. So something such as gratitude lists were very transformative in my life, and I'm blessed to pay this forward. So to Gary Beekler of Nerdrotic, thank you. And this is my 500th consecutive episode. And we talk about comic books daily. We do 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily. Wow. We've done this 500 days in a row. And I'm having a beer. I struggle with my sobriety as well, especially the older you get. And it's easy to fill empty moments with alcohol. And but the older we get, and the more we should be doing different things. And so, but also I'm celebrating. This is definitely an auspicious day, and 500 episodes. Sláinte. Skål. To your health. Just thank you. The people in the live chat, the people making comments, the ton of new viewers. Thank you so very much for tuning in. We talk about comic books. We talk about comic books daily, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily. Be part of our live chat. Make new friends. Seriously, it's so fun. And we pimp each other's channels, and there are other shows out there. And not everything is just outragey. Sure, things piss me off. Oh, the turkey's done. Yeah, of course there are plenty of things to point out and be like, hey, I'm dissatisfied with what we're getting. It's fine to do that. But don't let it ruin your day. Yeah, seriously, make that choice. So, I'm going to run my fandom. I'm not going to have my fandom run me. I have this whole theme. Cheers, Sláinte. Thank you so very much. 500 consecutive episodes. Couldn't have done it without you, or Drinka, or Pika, or Canadian Bear. We're in party mode today. We're celebrating, and I hope you're celebrating with us. And thank you so very much for everyone in the live chat, for everyone in the comments, and for everyone that's watching this for the first time. Come aboard. Thank you so very much. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. We make daily content here. And we will see you again in those funny pages tomorrow. All right. Ciao. Bye-bye. Here's to you, my little love, with blessings from above, and let the day begin, let the day begin, let the day start. Yes!